Hi everybody, welcome back to the DesmoWerx channel, and I know it's been a while since the last video is out. I can only say thank you to all the subscribers and viewers who have stuck with the channel despite my absence, but this year we'll be seeing plenty more content coming back. So I thought what I'd do is just stick out a quick video to say I haven't disappeared, haven't died as a few people have asked via emails. Just been mega busy, and more importantly I couldn't really get into my garage, so we've done a lot of work in the house, new kitchen, decorated all downstairs and everything like that, and the garage sort of became a dumping ground. So albeit I've been able to do some small bits of work during the last year for people, not really warranted filming because it was a bit of a mess in here, and I just got the work out of the way for those guys so that they could get their suspension and their heads etc back. But I now have a space to work in again, so there will be some work coming. And I've also invested in some new apparatus. So those of you that follow my Instagram will see I've got a new bit of kit, which I've got to work out where it's going to go so that we can make use of it. And I've also got to uprate the power in the garage and get hold of some decent sized compressors to be able to drive that. So there's a little bit of work needed to make full use of that. But that's going to give me much more scope to be able to do refurbishment work on both the bikes, the engines and cars that I'll be doing some work on this year. So you'll be aware that there was a couple of projects that I started last year and we filmed but didn't finish. So there's some work on a 748 for a customer, but unfortunately he's not been well, so that's sort of suspended at the moment. All the parts are here, they're ready to go, but I'm beholden as to when he's ready for me to do that work for him. And then we've also got another piece of work coming from another YouTube creator who's got a smaller channel, so Produx Mechanica. I'm going to be assisting him in putting his 916 back together. So he's been restoring a 916. He's just getting all of the engine cases and covers repainted, and that will be a full rebuild from scratch to be, I wouldn't say concours condition, but certainly really nice. Similar, I suppose, really to what I did with the ST2. So as close to concours as you could get, but whilst being a real world restoration and not obsessing about everything. So that'll be an interesting piece. And then we've got Lamb's Chops' hyper motard at some point when he's ready to put that back together. So I'm hoping now that I'm in a place to be able to redo work that those will kick off soon. And I've also got some work to do on the Panigale. So I've got an auto blipper, so not only can I upshift through the quick shifter, but I'll be able to downshift much like the later 1299s. So I hope to get that fitted. I've got to book a track day at some point for Silverstone so that I can make use of this bike and actually kick the arse out of it, basically. And then the ST2. So a few of you have asked questions in some of the videos as to what happened with the bike. I've still got it. We didn't do Italy, and my friends that I was going to do that journey with have now got rid of their bikes and are not interested in doing it. So that sort of discarded that. I've done about 600 miles on it, so it's due a follow-up service from the original build. So I'm going to be going through a tension check on that. I'll do a valve check, and I've got a small coolant leak. Now it's not coming from the engine, it's on the radiator itself, and I think what it is the overflow connection that comes out of the top of the fill-in port is failed. So I've got a small drip coming out there, because if I leave it stood for any period of time I get a very small puddle of neat coolant on the floor. And I took the fairings off because I was fitting a battery conditioning lead, and I noticed that on the edge of the radiator we've got a small leak there, so I'll be doing that as well. And then I've got the Honda RS250 that's still sat on the bench, that's been pushed to the side, which I want to sell, so I've got to get that all sorted and ready to go. I'm not going to be restoring the bike, I'm just going to get it into a saleable state so that I can offload the bike and just focus more on Ducati and the Lotus stuff. Now, as another aside, some of you may see on Instagram, I've finally got my Lotus Emira. finally, so that was 2 years of waiting, so I'll be doing some content on that. Hoping to do a track day in that in Silverstone if I can get it running in time. So I've got to do 1,000 miles to run the car in, and then hopefully I'm going to do some content on the Lotus Emira. The Esprit is still here, and I've got to pull the engine out of that because I need to do, there's two stud stroke bolts that have sheared on the exhaust manifold, so I want to get those replaced. The exhaust shields need doing, and whilst it's out I'm going to do a full engine service on it, so new belts, spark plugs, drop the sump, give that a good clean out, and I think I might have to do the crank end seal on it as well because I've got a small leak that's dropping onto the floor on that as well. So there's a few bits and pieces that I'm going to be doing on the Esprit, and then the aim is to get some miles in on that on the road as well. So all in all, plenty to come this year. As I said earlier, thank you for sticking with the channel. Thank you for the views while it's not been actively getting new content in, but that content will be coming out. I am not going to be doing videos weekly. It just takes up too much of my time. I'm not a massive fan on filming and editing, so unfortunately I find this bit the grind. I love talking to you guys. I love making videos about engine building. I just don't like editing videos and I don't enjoy it, hence why it was easy not to do it, fall away from that. But there's a commitment from me that I'll be getting more regular videos out, but I'm not gonna overwhelm myself with doing that on a weekly basis. It will be an as and when basis, and particularly in terms of making sure that the content is regular. I'm giving myself enough time to film, make good quality content, and then edit it and put it out to you guys so that you can see it in good time. So I'll just show you around the garage and why we're in a bit of a mess as it stands at the moment. So some slight upgrades on my toolbox setup. I'm not a big Snap-on fan or anything like that, but I have bought a side locker for my original setup plus another set of half drawers, and then I've just spent some time getting them all sorted so that I've got a decent way of putting all of the tools in and out. All my Ducati tools are now in a much more easy way to get to, so it should just make jobs a little bit easier because hopefully everything's in a more obtainable position. So that's one of the bits I've been doing in the garage. I've still got some odds and sods lying around from all the work we've done in the house, but I should get them shifted in the last van load to go out, including my daughter's aquarium that somehow has ended up in the garage. ST2 is there, ready to be serviced. I've put, as I said, about 600 miles on it. I've enjoyed riding it. It's been a nice bike, but just need to service it, and then I'll make a decision as to whether I'm going to keep it or sell it. I'd really like a Hyperstrada or a new Hyper Motard, so might offload it for one of those. And this is the new bit of kit, well, new to me, so it's not brand new. Managed to pick this up off of somebody that had used it for a project or some light work, and then has offloaded it. So it's a vapor blaster, not a blasting cabinet, so it's a proper vapor blaster, and it'd be really good for engine refurbishments because it's not as harsh on aluminium and gives a really nice finish. So that's one of my big challenges at the moment. So the aim was I was going to put it there, and it's just about got enough space, but I'm thinking I might rejig how I've got the bench set up at the moment and put it in where the end of the engine build bench is at the moment. That means I have to free up some space, either by getting rid of these old workbenches here and moving the toolbox across so that I can do something with that. So the other piece, what's happening about racing? I am giving up racing motorbikes. I am not also going to race cars, primarily because I just don't want to throw money away. So how do you make millions in motorsport? Well, you start with billions, as they say. It's expensive. I'm too old to get decent sponsorship anymore. So what's going to happen with the Ducati 748s that I used for Thunder bikes? I'm probably going to keep one as a track bike, so keep it fresh and tidy and use it for the odd track day where I don't want to use the Panigale. And then I'm considering reinstating one of them back to a road bike, because the original Thunderbike build bike that I did is a 2002 bike, so one of the last 748s. So I might just put that back to road use and then use it myself, or I might possibly offload one of them. I haven't made up my mind. I do have a 916 SPS that's in bits that I keep telling myself I'm going to do back into a road bike and restore it to make it worth keeping. So that might be a future project. I keep sitting on the fence with that one, because it's going to be a lot of work because it's in quite poor condition. So who knows, we'll see where that gets to. Anyway, just thought I'd give a quick update. You will see me again very shortly, doing some more content. Don't know which video that will be, but I'll get something out in the next few weeks. Thanks for sticking with the DesmoWerx channel. It really does mean a lot to me. If you're not a subscriber at the moment, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell for more content to come. Keep watching, there'll be more from me soon. Thanks then, see you all soon. Bye.